Hey y'all, thanks very much for tuning in today. I hope you guys have a most excellent day. So I want to talk about a subject today which was brought to my attention through a recent tweet relating to the much maligned furry convention Free For All, which, as we know, has been battling a reputation as being run by fascists and for being a haven to the outright side of the furry fandom. So they have recently put out a tweet which essentially confirmed that the Furry Raiders will be working as staff at the convention. Now, for a group that are already dealing with reputational issues about being alt-right and extremist far-right, appointing the Furry Raiders, of all people, that's a bit of a dumb move, dudes. I mean, you can't claim not to be far-right extremists when you're appointing a far-right extremist group as staff members. Think, guys, think about it. Now, we don't know what role the Furry Raiders will be undertaking at the Furry Convention, but since it's only about a week away at the time of this video, we'll find out soon enough. And in case you're wondering who the Furry Raiders are, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of who they are, who's involved in them, what they've done, the gnarlier sides of the association, and why I think, Free For All is just a cover story for the gnarlier sides of the furry fandom. Now, on the surface, the Furry Raiders claim some very altruistic goals. They're all about, helping the fandom, yada, 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 make the fandom better for furries. All sounds very noble. But that is just on the surface, and it is a very thin veneer indeed. You just have to scratch the surface a little bit. I mean, from the very outset, the Furry Raiders came from a group on Second Life called the Fursies, who were, like the name sounds, a bunch of furry Nazis. They enjoyed dressing their avatars up in Nazi or Nazi-esque uniforms, and in one case I've read about them harassing Jewish members on Second Life. But for the most part at that time it was just a bunch of edgelords who had figured out how to put SS uniforms onto their avatars and slap red bands on their arms. Pretty distasteful in itself, and the harassment isn't cool. But they hadn't done anything major quite at that point. But they did eventually transition over to real life, and when they did so, they did bring a lot of that iconography with them. Specifically, red armbands with a white circle and a paw print in the middle. Sound familiar? It should do, because if you swap that paw print out for a swastika, that's what the Nazis wore during the war. Now, they claim it has nothing to do with that. They claim that in Second Life it was just a little bit added extra that they could add to their avatars. It has nothing to do with the Nazis and all that bollocks. And they are adamant that they do not use any Nazi iconography in their group. But I'm going to link to something down below. I'm going to mark it as Exhibit A, which is a link to Wiki for article, specifically some pictures from the Furry Raiders chat of them sharing some very, very reminiscent Nazi iconography with a couple of bits swapped out to paw prints and things like that. I mean, that does look suspiciously like one of the battle flags used by the Nazis during the war. Don't you guys think? I mean, and this is from their chat. This isn't something that's been fabricated. This is something they've been sharing amongst themselves. And some rather gnarly comments to go along with it. Like I said, link down below, Exhibit A. Go check it out once this video is done. But wait, there's more. And this one I'm going to link to as Exhibit B, which is a whole bunch of chat logs exposed by an infiltrator called Aristide, who managed to get into their chat and effectively screenshot all the bullshit. And here we see a bunch of Furry Raiders, espousing outright racism and, calling for the genocide of native populations and so much more. This is some really grim reading. Like I said, down below, marked as Exhibit B. Go check it out after the video. It's pretty gnarly, dudes. And one thing I'd like to just slip in here. You may remember, 2 Griffin says that he went into the Furry Raiders chat once and didn't see anything wrong. So either they were being rather careful and cautious around them, which, I think is the most likely thing, or he just doesn't see a problem with any of this bullshit. And what gets me, though, is that in one of these chat logs, these fuckerinos have the audacity to bemoan the fact that the fandom has ostracized them. I mean, what do you guys expect? We don't want to be associated with bullshit like this. You got some wanker here bemoaning the fact that the Maori still exist, and you wonder why we don't want anything to do with you nutjobs? It's like, dude, have you seen yourselves? Have you read the bullshit that comes out of your mouth? Oh, but the Furry Raiders aren't racist. Oh no, they're not Nazis. They don't hate other races. They're just an innocent group. Oh my god, why are these people so mean to us? Oh my god. Why the fuck do you think? And that's just the members of their chat log. We ain't even got to their leadership yet, because that's when it gets really gnarly. I mean, right from the get-go, look at the dude running the Furry Raiders. I mean, the guy's name. He claims it's a mashup of his surname plus his favorite animal. I mean, let's call him Toddler. He claims that the last part is from his personal surname, but at the same time, a lot of people have pointed out it's very, very similar to Hitler. I mean, we can't prove that Toddler picked his name based on, Hitler or not. We got no evidence, so to speak, but it's very suspicious. And when you take everything else into account, the fact that, they formed from a bunch of edgelord Nazis on Second Life, and they have a lot of Nazi paraphernalia going on, it's not much of a stretch of the imagination to think that maybe he is trying to be the furry Hitler. Yeah, I'll give him a pass on that one. It's suspicious as hell, but I can't prove anything. Anyway, this guy, he claims not to be a neo-Nazi, and then he's throwing out Nazi salutes for photographs. I mean, I'm going to link it down below again, Exhibit C. Go check it out after the video. Now, he claims this was an accident. He claims he accidentally threw up a Nazi salute. How the fuck do you accidentally throw out a Nazi salute and hold it perfectly so it's not blurry or anything for someone to take a photograph of it? How? Tell me, and this is back when cameras didn't have all of this anti-blur doodads and what's it called. So, this was an intentional photo, dude. This wasn't no fucking accident. Pull the other one. It's got bells and whistles on it. But that's not the most damning thing that he did. The photo of him throwing out a Nazi salute aside and, possibly the name. Okay, that doesn't really prove anything. But what he did do after that, though, it kind of, it nails the coffin shut, so to speak. I mean, there's things that you can't come back from, and trying to join a neo-Nazi group is one of those things. And I'm going to link to a video of him talking about it himself. Let's call it Exhibit D. This dude made a video where he claims that he did it to learn more about them. I mean, what more do you need to learn? That they're neo-Nazis. There's nothing more you really need to learn about them. It's not like you're going to go there and find that they're a church group or, they're having a picnic or something. They're fucking neo-Nazis. They are a hate group. But that is legitimately the bullshit he's trying to peddle. He just wanted to learn about it. So he tried to join a neo-Nazi group and he paid them their application fee and went through the process. And it's when they found out that he was a furry that they essentially said, nope, we're done, we don't want you in our group. He tried to join a neo-Nazi group, and the neo-Nazis did not want him. And one of his favourite things when people accuse him of being a Nazi is that he will espouse the fact that he is mixed race, and why would a mixed race person be a Nazi? Well, clearly the neo-Nazi group didn't really care about him being mixed race, because they continued the interview after finding out about that. They didn't care about that from the looks of it. They only cared about the fact that he was a furry. And I'm not surprised that shit them up, because when you look at Stormfront, the neo-Nazi website, their biggest news source and all that bullshit, they've put out several articles about why they hate furries and why they want to exterminate us. So, them finding out about him being a furry, being a thing that got him booted, not surprising. Now, during this time, he did make a lot of controversial posts about, hating black people and stuff on social media, and he claims that was just part of the application process for when they vetted him or whatever. That's just what? No, fuck off. That's bollocks. He's chatting shit right there. I mean, at best, this is just an edgelord trying to be edgy and going too far. But I don't believe any of his excuses or claims. I think he genuinely tried to join that neo-Nazi group because surprise, surprise, he is a neo-Nazi. But wait, there's more. From what I understand, he also has attended KKK rallies. I mean, like, dude, what the hell? That's gnarliness on a whole new level. But if you think the gnarliness around the leadership stops there, you are sadly mistaken, because from what I understand, this dude went ahead and tried to seduce a minor at one point and actually got arrested and brought up on charges for attempted sexual contact with a minor. And this is the guy who, to this day, is in charge of the Furry Raiders. It's not just one of their, minor members. This is the dude at the tippy top. And again, I'm linking down below to Exhibit E. Go check it out after this video is done. And he would have been convicted for this had it not been for witness tampering and other activities by his second in command. Now, from what I understand, his 2IC was convicted of these things in a separate case and managed to catch himself 8 years in prison, which I believe he is currently serving. And again, down below in the description, Exhibit F for that part, F for fuck up. Go check out that dude's convictions. So essentially, he tried to screw up the case against the leader so that the leader would get let off. And unfortunately, the leader was let off as a result of this. We don't know to what extent, but we do know that it never went to court, possibly through witness tampering. But you know what gets me about this? I mean, it's not the fact that the second in command got arrested and convicted of this or any of that. It's the fact that the second in command already had a criminal record. And not just minor stuff like theft or, shit like that. Stuff that, is, vaguely forgivable. No. He had a criminal record for sexual assault. The server admin of the Furry Raiders, the second in command under the top dog, was a sexual predator. He was a convicted sexual predator. And he was given a position of power in the Furry Raiders. I mean, what does that tell you about the group itself? Oh, but the Furry Raiders, they're just misunderstood little lambs. They're not all that bad. They're innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. They're perfectly fine people. Bollocks, are they? This organisation is rotten to the very core. From the very top, their leadership includes sex offenders and people who glorify Hitler. I mean, what the hell? And I realise that not everyone in the Furry Raiders would have these beliefs. I mean, there may be some people who've been duped by the we're innocent bullshit. But the vast majority gotta know what's going on. So I'm honest, I will never trust a Furry Raider. If someone says to me they're a Furry Raider, I'm gonna tell them to fuck off. But that raises the question, what kind of organisation would look at all this, see these, fine upstanding members of their society and think, you know what, they'd make good staff for a furry convention. And, it's not just assumed, they have confirmed that the Furry Raiders will be staff at Free For All. This isn't just something someone's pulled out their arse somewhere. It has been confirmed by both parties. The convention is associating with and promoting the Furry Raiders as members of their staff. I mean, this really does make me question the morals of the organisation and its leadership if they're willing to have actual neo-Nazis in their midst. I mean, the gal running Free For All, Peace Wolf, she claims to be an American patriot. And yet she has neo-Nazi friends. She has neo-Nazis working for her at the convention. Peace Wolf, if you're watching this, and I kind of hope you are, reach out to me. Tell me what you think about the fact that, you are associating with neo-Nazis. You claim to be a patriot, and yet you are working with the people who any true patriot would want nothing to do with. You claim your convention is for promoting free speech and returning to our roots, whatever. I can't believe that when you have, neo-Nazis at your convention and you're doing nothing about it. You're promoting them, you're giving them a platform, Peace Wolf, and yet you claim to be a patriot. Those two are mutually exclusive, dude. Think about it. You can't be a patriot and promote neo-Nazis. I mean, this isn't an image you want. I mean, your convention is already struggling with the image that it's being run by neo-Nazis, and now you appoint actual neo-Nazis. I mean, think about it. When people see you at cons, do you want them to be thinking, hey, that's Peace Wolf, the Nazi simp? Or do you want them to be thinking, hey, that's Peace Wolf, she kicked the Nazis out of her con? Get back to me, Peace Wolf, if you're watching this. Or if one of your cronies is watching this, pass it to her so she can watch it. Because I want her opinion. I want to know what she thinks about the Nazi elements in the Furry Raiders and why she is associated with them. I mean, there's pretty damning evidence that they are neo-Nazis. You can't really deny that at this point. So yeah, Free For All, the supposed FashCon, have confirmed that they have got neo-Nazis working for them. So I'm not going to ask if you guys enjoyed this video because it's a pretty gnarly subject, but I hope you at least found it informative. And if you did, drop a like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Drop in the comments below, after you've checked out the evidence that is, what your opinion is on it. Whether you think the Furry Raiders are Nazis or whether you think they're innocent little lambs. I mean, I know what I think. It's based on the evidence I've seen. but everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Either way, I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, an outstanding rest of the year. I hope that Freefall actually goes well and there's no gnarly incidents there, but I'm kind of doubtful. Either way, you all have a great weekend. I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, take care. Ta-ra.